If you're confused by the Taylor Swift drama, we're breaking down the he said, she said of it all right now. Okay, so you know how Taylor told everyone to calm down? Well, we're trying, but there's a lot to break down in the Taylor vs. Scott battle. To be clear, we mean Taylor vs. Scott Borchetta, and I guess Taylor vs. Scooter Braun, whose real name is Scott, and to make it even more confusing, her dad's name is Scott too. So this is the story of Scott, and Taylor, and this is probably a good time to mention my name is also Scott. One of the key points in both Taylor and Scott Borchetta's statement is Taylor's desire to own her masters. They both make it clear that in Taylor's final negotiation with Big Machine, owning her masters was on the table. Taylor says in her statement, "I was given an opportunity to sign back up with Big Machine Records and earn one album back at a time. One for every new one I turned in." It's no secret that Taylor wasn't happy with that offer, and she was transparent with Scott that she'd be exploring other options before signing anything. In Scott's statement, he stands by the effort Big Machine made, saying, "My offer to Taylor for the size of our company was extraordinary, but it was also all I could offer as I'm responsible for dozens of artists' careers and over 120 executives and their families." So far, it's as simple as Big Machine made an offer that wasn't satisfactory to Taylor, and both parties were aware that she would be considering leaving as a result. In Taylor's statement, she explains, "I walked away because I knew once I signed that contract, Scott Borchetta would sell the label, thereby selling me and my future. I had to make the excruciating choice to leave behind my past," which is echoed in the alleged text message Scott says Taylor sent him at the time as a courtesy to inform him that the news would be breaking about her decision. She wrote, "Owning my masters was very important to me, but I've since realized that there are things that mean even more to me in the bigger picture. I had a choice whether to bet on my past or to bet on the future, and I think knowing me, you can guess which one I chose." It's important to note that both Scott and Taylor are maintaining there was no bad blood as a result of her decision. She closed that text to him with, "I still view you as a partner and friend, and I hope you feel the same. Sending you a hug and my most sincere gratitude." The next points are where it starts to get messy. In Taylor's statement, she makes it clear that she was not given a heads up about the deal, and she learned of the purchase of her masters as it was announced to the world. The Wall Street Journal made the official announcement that Big Machine Records was acquired by Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings. Now, an important thing to note here is it was not just Scooter purchasing Taylor's masters. The companies negotiated a merger, and since Big Machine owns Taylor's masters, when they merged, her masters merged as well. In Scott's statement, he says he truly doubts Taylor learned of the news from the Wall Street Journal article. As you've probably heard, Taylor's dad is mixed up in all of this because even after Taylor left Big Machine, he remained as a shareholder. Scott actually presents a timeline of the transfer of information on the deal in his statement. He says the shareholders were alerted on Thursday, June 20th of an official call scheduled for Tuesday, June 25th. On the June 25th call, the shareholders were made aware of the pending deal with Ithaca Holdings and had 3 days to go over all of the details of the proposed transaction. Friday, June 28th was the shareholders' final call, and the merger passed in a majority vote. Now, what that translates to is her dad was 100% alerted to the scheduled call, but the specific details that it would be Scooter Braun's company were shared on the call and not beforehand. Taylor's rep told People magazine, "On June 25th, there was a shareholder phone call that Scott Swift did not participate in due to a very strict NDA that bound all shareholders and prohibited any discussion at all without risk of severe penalty. Her dad did not join that call because he did not want to be required to withhold any information from his own daughter." What Scott's statement complicates here is there were multiple ways the news could have reached Taylor's camp, but what's described as basically a complicated game of telephone. Quoting his statement directly, "I guess it might somehow be possible that her dad, Scott, 13 management lawyer Jay, who represented Scott Swift on the shareholder calls, or 13 management executive and Big Machine LLC shareholder Frank Bell, who was on the shareholder calls, didn't say anything to Taylor over the prior 5 days." His next statement directly challenges Taylor. He continued, "I guess it's possible that she might not have seen my text, but I truly doubt she woke up to the news when everyone else did. He included the alleged text, and this is the portion directly informing her of the sale. I wanted to pass along to you the same courtesy that you passed along to me in regard to my future. Tomorrow morning, Sunday, June 30th at 10 a.m. Central, the Wall Street Journal will announce that I am entering into a merger/acquisition with Scooter Braun and Ithaca Holdings. The move will give us more pop culture superpower than ever before, and I'm so excited about the future. I want you to know that I will continue to be the proud custodian of your previous works and will continue to keep you and your team abreast of all future plans for the releases of your work. Now, circling back to the statement Taylor's rep made to People, she said Taylor found out from the news articles when she woke up before seeing any text from Scott Borchetta, and he did not call her in advance. So, Taylor's camp isn't claiming that the text doesn't exist. The issue seems to be when she saw it. Scott's statement says he sent it at 9:05 p.m. and that the article went live at 10 a.m. Central the next morning. In theory, she could have woken up to the news before checking her texts. We'll never know. The main questions we don't have answers to are if her dad's lawyer represented him on the call, why wouldn't he have reported the news back? And more importantly, Scott's statement makes it seem like multiple people could have contacted Taylor's camp, but in theory, they would have been breaking their NDAs to do so. The next direct conflict between Scott and Taylor's statements is the Scooter Braun bullying claim. Taylor wrote, "When I left my masters in Scott's hands, I made peace with the fact that eventually he would sell them. Never in my worst nightmares did I imagine the buyer would be Scooter. Anytime Scott Borchetta has heard the word Scooter Braun escape my lips, it was when I was either crying or trying not to. He knew what he was doing, they both did." Scott responded with, "As to her comments about being in tears or close to it anytime my new partner Scooter Braun's name was brought up, I certainly never experienced that. Was I aware of some prior issues between Taylor and Justin Bieber? Yes. But there were also times where Taylor knew that I was close to Scooter and that Scooter was a very good source of information for upcoming album releases, tours, etc., and I'd reach out to him for information on our behalf. Scooter was never anything but positive about Taylor." So ultimately, there is a he said, she said here, and we will probably never be able to fully confirm either statement. It boils down to either Scott knew selling to Scooter would upset Taylor and chose to proceed anyway, or he didn't know and was just making a business deal. Well, you guys, that's all the news I have to share with you. If you want more information on how celebrities are reacting and who's Team Taylor or Team Scooter, Renee has all the details for you, so be sure to click right over here to check those out. What do you think about all this drama? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring, and I'll see you guys next time.